and kind of as I went through that book, it really started to sort of to coalesce all these different thoughts and questions
Mm.
that I had as I was growing up, to where it got to the point where I kind of just well, kind of, I don't know if I want to say that I woke up one day, but I was, thinking about it to myself one day, and I realized, oh, this is what I am. No, this
Mm.
is I'm an atheist. I don't believe.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's, and it was interesting because it was always you go through this phase where you're like, God, I don't believe you. But then you're like, God, if I don't believe him, why am I talking to him?
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And then, as I was going through this, and these thoughts start to solidify in my mind, and I start to think about these things and put two and two together, for me. And um, I just got this point where I was like, okay, there's a gap. There's
Mm.
not a gap, not a right word, but it's kind of locked in my mind that it's not well, I don't believe in you anymore. To just
Mm.
I just don't believe.
Right.
Right. It's funny though, as time has sort of gone on, and thinking about the Conversation Coalition conversation, we're talking about evidence for God and things like that, and this idea that, well, maybe there's a creator,
Mm.
there's a God, but that doesn't necessarily lead to the idea that it's a Christian God.
Totally.
What I've sort of as I've looked at things, sort of studied things, I'm an avid reader of stories,
Mhm.
things like that. What I kind of realize is mankind's pretty good at creating gods,
Right.
Mm.
right? We do a pretty good job of that. I stumbled across this thing. It was like the Religion World Tree.
Yeah.
If you guys have never seen it, it's
Gary's-
a fantastic,
Oh, yeah.
Just talking about it 30 minutes ago.
beautiful, beautiful thing. And as I'm looking at that, like that kind of sort of sums up sort of where I kind of landed on this
Mm.
is like for me just because Christianity and Islam and some of the other religions have done a really good job and developed staying power, which I firmly believe is because of community,
Mm.
right? That has sort of solidified the staying
Fascinating.
power. It doesn't necessarily lead to the idea that it's valid in terms of the way it presents God.
Right.
And so I'm like, I don't see enough that makes me think this one religion is better than that other religion, that it's necessarily true.
Right. And when you look at that family tree
Yeah.
of religions and realize that each of them think that they have the true
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
religion, it changes your perspective. And